We're enjoying the last night with my American family visiting us here in France. I don't think I've ever really explained where this American family thing originates, and I know I've had some questions about this. And it is, in my opinion, a really beautiful story. So I'm obviously Dutch. I was born in the Netherlands. I don't have any American roots, but this is the story.
No!
Oh, you want some?
No!
So this woman, Janet, who I call my aunt, is the daughter of an American soldier who was in the second group of boats to arrive to Omaha Beach in the Second World War. A bullet missed him just by 1 inch over his head and killed one of the soldiers on his boat. He never shared much about the horrific sights that he witnessed, but he did say that it was so bizarre to see the sea completely red from all the blood. Miraculously, he survived and arrived safe and sound in France. He was then taken to the Netherlands, where he became the cook for his battalion. Families were welcoming soldiers into their homes so they would feel a little more at home and loved. And he was welcomed by my dad's grandparents. And he shared the story of how my father's grandmother, my great-grandmother, baked him a birthday cake when he turned 25. He was celebrating his 25th birthday far away from his real family, but inside of the home of my family. And she baked him a cake using what little she had at hand during this wartime. It was a potato cake, and she colored the potatoes using beet juice so it would look a little more festive. And he always kept the 25 sign that she put on top of the cake. He started calling them Mom and Pop. In Dutch, he would say Mom and Pop. And my aunt says that when she was little, he would always talk about his Dutch mom and pop. So it wasn't until she was an adult that she realized that these people that he was talking about weren't actually biological relatives. My grandfather had always kept writing to his American friend that he met during the war, and in 1990 he decided to travel to the US and meet his friend. My grandmother didn't want to make the trip, so she didn't come with him, but his sister and her husband did. And he celebrated his 73rd birthday in the house of the family of this American soldier. Unfortunately, it would be his last, because he passed away a few months after that. And a few months after him, my grandmother, his wife, passed away as well. And that was the moment that my dad said, "This is the time for us to travel to the US and meet my grandfather's friends." And I remember I was 14 years old, arriving in the US for the first time and meeting my grandfather's friend. And the first thing he said to me was, "Sweetie, I feel so sorry for your loss, for losing your grandfather and grandmother. If you want to, you can call me Grandpa." And I did. And I called his wife Grandma. I met their children and grandchildren. We all became friends. We really felt more like family than friends. We've always stayed in touch, and as you see, my aunt and uncle, they come visit quite often. They were here last year, and this year specifically was such a beautiful year because she shared so many stories about how our families met and what happened at that time that I had never heard of. And I also realized that I was in Normandy last summer with the intention of visiting the beaches with my son. And I don't know if you've seen that vlog, but I got an issue with my van and we never made it to Omaha Beach. And I'm forced to go back because I still have some personal items that are still in my friend's house in Normandy. So I am going to travel back to Normandy because after these stories, I look at those beaches and these events in a very different way. Somehow I have never realized that my American grandpa was actually on a boat on that day, and that just by an inch, the course of events of our family's lives could have been completely different.
Dear Grandma Ruthie, happy 100th birthday. What an amazing day. We would so have loved to be able to come celebrate this special day with you, but we will toast to your good health and birthday and hope you have a wonderful celebration with your family, friends, and loved ones. Big hugs from France from all of us. Marloes, Olav, Casper, and Benjamin.
After my family left, we went back to getting the cabin ready for guests and getting back to getting all the work done in the garden, which for some reason feels like an endless task this year. This is a plant. It's a sedum plant that planted itself here in the gutter. I'm gonna get it out and plant it in the garden. Put it somewhere where I don't forget. Don't you just respect nature when you see this kind of thing? See, there's sedum here everywhere, and I planted these last year just from the garden center, and then those I got from my neighbor and I planted those. They look like they're really liking it here. So ideally, because when this whatever that's called, varen, that dies at the end of summer, that's about when the sedum really bloom. So maybe I should just plant it here, and then we should get a nice little row here. And look at the lilacs. Oh, if you could just smell these. They're incredible. Oh, they smell so good. So good.
zie je. Je hebt het ook niet gezien. I'm explaining to Olav why I bought new tomato, new second-hand tomato, instead of using the ones that we found here in our, what's that called? Little shed thing. Because as you can see, I don't know if you can move closer to film. So these are the original ones to our farmhouse, but the color is a lot more red, so it really depends. This is terracotta tile, tomate as they call them in French, but this is the reason, Olav, why I bought the ones I bought, because to get this cement off and to get all this off, it's really like horrendous work. Plus, I didn't really like the color of this. It was too red. The ones that I have are a different color. But I am cleaning these anyway, like roughly, so we do keep them for, I don't know, whatever purpose they'll serve. And they're quite a lot, I think. Maybe 4 square meters or something.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, it's too much work to clean them, really. Look, there's even paint on them. That says Les Chenaux, or I don't know what it says, but that is a name. And the second line says Arnay-le-Duc. And the third line says Côte d'Or. So this was probably the name of the manufacturer. Arnay-le-Duc is still the village that's about 10 kilometers away. And Côte d'Or is the département in France that we're in. This one had a stamp as well, but I do see Côte d'Or. And it seems to be something with roi. There's a child coming. La. What does it say?
Let me see.
Does that say La Conche or something? I thought.
Côte d'Or. It's an M.
Well, if ever we clean those, we can figure out where that one comes from. It's cement, so that's not coming off with the broom.
M. Een 4. Een 5. Een 2. Au. Een L.
Few terrace beds, and in it was rhubarb. Talking of forest, let me show you my fruit trees that have come on leaps and bounds. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen the struggle I had. Some amazing apples on this tree. I'm so excited to be able to come out, wake up, it's the middle of summer or autumn, pair of boxes on, nothing else, just picking fruit. That's what I'm imagining in my head, but it's probably not going to be great.
Holy cow, this came in this morning. It is a chair that is going to go here, where the couch now is. And that's going to stay. And then the dining area will be here. But that was not supposed to come in until end of May. So I guess that's the deal with building works and getting things organized to get this cottage ready. And the earliest booking we've accepted is June 26th. And the photo shoot is June 23, I think. At the moment, the chauffagiste is here because the biggest issue is that we currently live here, and in order to redo the floor, we're going to put béton ciré on the floor here, but in order to do that, we need to empty this space. That means we need to put all our furniture somewhere, and that needs to go in the barn, which is adjacent to this space. But before we can, they need to put in the underfloor heating and the top floor, the cement floor, and that needs to dry, and then all of our stuff can go in there. So getting all kinds of parcels and stuff delivered when it's not time to put any of that in yet is a bit challenging, because at some point we don't know where to put everything. Anyway, I am going to open this up and try to see if it is all okay, because if there's something wrong with it, I will not discover that until mid-June. and I won't be able to return it anymore. So
The cabin hasn't been booked for the next 3 days, so I'm using this time to do some paint touch-ups. Well, I'm saying touch-ups, but I'm actually finishing part of the painting job that we never actually finished. Nobody's ever noticed, but we do, and I just want things to be really nice and perfect.
Ja? Kan het?
Ja. Tu peux le garder comme ça, toi? Ah?
Moquez pas de moi?
Vas-y, vas-y.
Okay, all of this is going to Emmaus. This brand new coffee machine that I bought online, and that has I think it's not a manufacturing mistake. It was just not designed properly, so it doesn't make the crema on the coffee, so it tastes like filter coffee. And this, we don't have this filter for swimming pool anymore, and all kinds of other stuff. And I gotta hurry because they almost close. It's almost 5. I started so early this morning with a meeting for my business, and I was wearing this and I haven't changed. So in this, I've done a business meeting, painting, cleaning up all kinds of garbage, and now I'm going to go to Emmaus and bring all this stuff. I don't even bother to brush my hair an extra time or... Okay, let's go, because I'm also looking for small terracotta planters or pots for my herbs. For example, the basil that Olav and the boys got for my birthday, that doesn't grow in the soil, so I can't put that in the garden. I need to put that in little pots. But actually just the ones that he just bought, we left them outside and they've already been eaten by, we don't know what it is, but and everybody around here says that basil just does not like growing here or something. So what I'm going to do is buy all kinds of little pots, if I can find them at the thrift store, and tear them apart and plant them with more space and see if they do better this year. So let's go. I'm taking you with me. I don't know if I'll film a whole lot. I'm not going, well, I always do a quick round, of course.
Alright, that was a quick tour and I didn't really find what I was looking for, although I did find some pieces and they were very happy with the donation, so that's good. This is for the paint. I opened all my paint cans. They got all like that, the lid got stuck, and of course I know you're not supposed to paint from the can. Like, you should pour some paint out that you'll use in a glass jar or something and then keep the can clean, which of course is not what I did. So I'm going to pour the paint that's left over in here. I was happy to find this because I needed something big and it closes really well. Then I only found this one little pot. I saw where the checkout is. So basically you pick up an item that you want, you go to this little desk place where there's what's that word, an employee, well, someone from the Emmaus, and they give you a price for what you're wanting to buy, and then you say yes or no, and you get a ticket. Then you put your stuff there, you leave it at that little desk, and then you go and pay at the checkout, and then you come back with a ticket that you've paid and you pick up your stuff. So I put my little one pot there and there was a whole bunch of them. So somebody has just arrived just a little earlier and took all of the good ones. All the other ones were broken. Then I also, and I filmed this, I think, found this one, and I was going to leave it at first because I thought the handle looked a little big and not very elegant. But then again, I was like, this is just so easy to pick a couple of wildflowers and put it somewhere in the garden or in a windowsill. And the last thing I found was this harvesting basket. I have a bigger one, and this one is quite lightweight and small. It was €1, and for the pot, little vase, and the container, that was €2. Here's my zucchinis. This is basil that I planted myself in hopes of making that work for a change. And this is the parsley that hasn't really moved much yet. This happens all the time. Every single year, no matter where we put it. And I think either that's snails or it's an animal eating it, I think. If you know what it is, let me know. All of this still needs to be cleaned and cleared because I believe Olav puts his tomato plants in these. So that might be a nice project to do together. Strawberries. And here are all our tomato plants. I bought these ones that I really like. It's old. They call them tomates anciennes. But they need to go into the bigger pots right there in the greenhouse because that's where they do best, is what we've now learned. And Olav also got me this one. It is basil with lemon. And it smells so good. But I need more planters to be able to plant all these, and I do have some in the greenhouse that I might use. I ended this busy week with doing something fun by taking my oldest son to a car show that was really nice. I'm just leaving you with a couple of shots of that, which maybe you don't find interesting at all or you're not used to seeing on this channel, but I just always share my real life. Thank you again so much for watching,
and I hope to see you again for the next video.